I asked Grok the same thing, and it's look at the bottom line there.
It was probably because how we worded the sentence, Archly.
Possibly, but again, read the bottom line of the one I found.
Attractive woman styled by the Archcast with a touch of Norwegian flair. So they
Little piece of shit's tricking me.
knew where you're from.
The AI is using your like Twitter account to add prompts to it for you. That's funny.
I mean, if this was, you know, my usual stuff I watched on Twitter, there'd be a lot more, I don't know, dicks and NTR involved, so I don't know.
So hold on just a second. It uses what's already on your Twitter account. Okay, Lumi, ask it to make a foot picture.
No.
Lumi,
do it.
Let's see if it can't. So you have no attractive women on your Twitter. Just draw me a picture of feet.
Hold on, I typed it out the same way as you. There you go.
Lumi, you're not getting away from this. Draw me a picture of feet. Tell it.
Fine.
Watch it generate the most hyper-realistic foot pic you've ever seen.
It's gonna have sweat on it and everything.
Oh, glistening little.
You can see every single hair follicle.
Also, a tongue will be coming in off screen.
Plucking it. Oh.
No. You're done. Give me a second. These shoes look like socks.
That is okay. So you're more of a shoe person than a foot person. Okay.
You do yours now.
Service guarantee.
So Lumi is more of the kind who jerks off to shoes than feet. All right.
It is using parts of your Twitter. I generated an image with the prompt feed of Lumi angler known as Lum Lum with a VTuber theme showcasing their interest in gaming and streaming set in a cozy US living room with a touch of gatekeeping.
Gatekeeping humor? Oh, there's an N there in the corner. I see now. That's Lumi's living room. There's a giant N blazoned on the wall. Alright.
I've never used Grok, so I don't know how it works, but it looks like it is using parts of your Twitter to like...
It definitely is.
It's AI-ing your Twitter, and then using that to AI your pictures.
Huh. I think Razorfist did like a... Oh, there we go, yeah. Draw me based on my tweet history. Oh, God.
Draw me based off my tweet history.
That's very dangerous.
Yes.
Lumi's just gonna be black.
Okay, everyone. Enter that into your grok. I'm intrigued now.
I don't have it. I'm not paying for that shit.
I'm scared.
Yeah, I don't pay for Twitter.
Oh, no!
What is it, Lumi? Is it?
Hold on, I'll post it.
Ракета выпущена. 7001.
Oh my god. It knows the time of year too. Perfect.
7001. Поражена!
There you go.
Gatekeep your hobbies. I mean, yes.
Вас понял. Курс 292.
Why is it... Okay, there you go. That's Lumi. Why is it... It's... Okay, that one's clearly flattering, but somewhat incorrect. Style of pop... Okay, right. So, I need to fiddle with mine. The AI has had a small hiccup. As according to the AI...
No, you can't edit anything.
This is me.
You gotta post it how it came out.
I don't know. I feel as if this might be misleading, honestly. In the style of pop art. Why is it doing this? In the style... That's not the prompt I put in. What the fuck? I'm confused.
Arch is booming.
You clearly did not do
there
it
we go.
correctly.
Satirical news in the style. It keeps adding in the style pop art. I'm confused. Okay, here goes another one. This one's at least male. Got the wrong hair color though, and I'm upset about it. The rest though isn't bad. You know, the rest is not terrible.
Есть занять глубину. 350. Новый, надводный.
Very good.
Вас
That could be
понял.
a thumbnail if it weren't for the holding the controller the wrong way thing. I feel like that might be an
But you're
insult.
not a.
Вас понял.
I
I
thought
don't
you
know.
were
I
a
can
real
Photoshop
gamer.
that out.
Есть. Потерян контакт с целью.
Actually, I've watched enough speedrunning to know there's a lot of people that hold the controller that way.
Yeah.
But as to the point, AI games, not a terrible idea. There's going to be a lot of teething issues, of course. But imagine a game in which you are given an AI storyline for side quests. Like you go to the barkeep and you go, "Hey, give me a job," and the barkeep is like, "Okay, there are bandits over there."
Contact detected.
Simple.
Air search
Yeah,
on.
people made this joke before. It's a game that's literally nothing but Skyrim Radiant Quest.
Yeah, kind of. But it's an
Yeah.
easy
Yeah.
way
Oh, yeah.
to give you access to things to do. And of course, you can do this a lot more complicated. The goal is to eventually have an actual living world where if you go and raid a cave and you kill all the bandits in there and you go to town, the shopkeeper go, "Oh hey, the bandits in the cave were cleared out. That's awesome." And then you return like 10 hours later and the barkeeper's like, "Oh hey, you cleared out that cave, right? Well, there's some wolves in there now." Like stuff like this, an actually evolving world, because the game is actually capable of evolving the world, not from a spreadsheet, but from actual consequences of your actions.
So when you see AI gaming right now, it's I think the big one right now is Minecraft AI, where you can play it, but because it's all AI generated, it doesn't actually
Track
save the
7,
game
0,
world. Like you
6,
turn around 360, you'll be somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's like
warship.
anything off screen isn't saved. So like
Yeah.
it's very clearly in the very early stages, and it's one of those things where if you're gonna have a
Contact
coherent
faded.
experience,
Track.
it probably can't fully be AI
Contact
generated, at least
faded.
not yet,
Track.
because it has to be able to
Multiple
refer
air
back to things
contacts
that happened
detected.
before, and a lot of AI still has an upper limit on how much it can do.
Contact faded.
Yes, it will have to be within a framework. And what you will then do is, because this is how the AI chatbot stuff functions. When you are talking to it, it only remembers X amount of messages, which it scans every time you type in a new thing to be like, okay, what's the context? And it does that in a fucking millisecond. But of course, that all requires computer power, right?
Contact faded.
So when you get a lot of text, say it only scans like 10 messages, and you have like 30, it will forget 2/3 of it. So you'll add in summaries. The AI will then summarize and go like, okay, these are the key words and key terms that I've come up with, and that will be a shorthand document for the future. Again, even with just basic chatbots, it can do a surprisingly good job of maintaining cohesion for a period of time, until it basically runs out of memory. But since all of this is running on a server, it's running off a fucking calculator's worth of memory. Slap this shit on a, 1 terabyte SSD? You could do some pretty insane stuff with this, but as you mentioned, Dev, it will require an actual game framework built around it, and then the AI will simply be an ingredient in that world.
I really think a lot of people are not seeing kind of the potential AI could have if you used it not for everything. Because everybody wants it to be like an all or nothing thing. Either we're making a project entirely out of AI or we're making a project entirely by hand. I always think back to when No Man's Sky came out. Everybody was complaining about how the procedural generation was crap. And then a couple weeks later, it might even have been Star Citizen, announced that they were basically using procedural generation to make landscapes, and then they would go back over that and touch up the landscape to make it something more realistic and something more manageable. And you could do a lot with AI doing that. Get like a baseline drawing or project, and then go back over it with a more fine-tooth comb, and finagle it into something more realistic. But nobody wants to do that. They want it to be either all AI or all by hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom they did the same thing. They had when they made the underworld, it was just a height inverse of the above world, and then they would go back over. Like they inverted it, and they went back over it, and then like added a bunch of interesting things to it, right? So this does happen. It's just I think there's currently like AI is currently the big prestige thing, right? So if someone can say, I did this entire game in AI, they get like a little crown for it. But even though it's probably not going to be that good. Here, just real quick, Arch. I'm going to post in live links. This is a video of somebody playing AI Minecraft. And you'll notice that, like, here's a good example. Go to, like, 1 minute 30 seconds. Okay? And what you'll notice is the UI is present, but it's not consistent. When it turns the camera, then it turns back, the entire game world's changed because it's moved out of frame, because it's not keeping track of the whole game world the way that actual Minecraft does. There are serious problems with how this plays out right now.
Yep. Well, absolutely. Like all developing technology, it will require long periods of iteration and, refinement and all this kind of thing to make it work out properly. And I definitely think, again, it needs the framework around it, and then you just use AI for some things. Use the AI to generate quest text. Use the AI to generate commentary for companions. Like, have a document say, like, okay, you've got a cave, it's in this part of the game world.
On station.
This is the lore for that part of the game world, this is the general lore for caves. And you just tell the AI, make an info dump out of this, and your AI goes like, oh, hey, we're in the eastern zones of Tamriel, or whatever. The caves around here are known to be deep and dank and filled with rats.
Fire's the answer.
2, 4, 6.
Someone in the chat said that AI looks good for doing tedious and complicated work.
Oh, yeah.
For creative work, not so much. I guess the issue is, actually, no. What you said earlier, Arch, kind of made me laugh a bit. Let them generate quest text, which is exactly what the writing contracting companies like Sweet Baby Inc. do. So it's like, oh man, AI might actually save us.
I mean, hell yeah! Like, again,
Guarantees citizenship.
from what I did my research on this, the AI is capable of generating. Like, I had it do writing tests for me, like write me an action scene. It gets fairly competent fairly quickly, because it's drawing from other competent things. You're basically asking it to replicate an example of something it's already seen, and what it's already seen is the good stuff. So you're basically just telling it, okay, this is a John Woo movie. Make me a John Woo movie.
Roger. Turn 3-0.
But AI aside, let's see. Bedtime. Remember playing Command Conquer 4 Beta back then, feeling a bit of myself die from how bad it was. It feels the same with Homeworld 3. That's because it is the same. Your body will never recover ever again.
7-0-0-9.
Momoka, base fish and base femboy tonight, and so Dev has gone full lolly. Dev, dirty pervert.
Contact faded.
Zonta, who had Assad's regime collapses entirely on a random Saturday on their bingo card. It thus expected an AFD going mask off prematurely. Yeah, the Syrian civil war might finally be wrapping up, or it's kind of looking like it. The rebels are apparently grabbing a lot of territory, but the problem then is there's like 5 different rebel groups out there, so which one?
Yeah, it might be a scenario situation, at least in the short term.
Yeah.
Sometimes if AI could drive down the cost of game development, whenever you bring that up, people immediately bring up the massive companies like Sony, and they're like, well, Sony doesn't need the cost going down that much. It's like, yeah, but what about all the indie devs? Like the smaller teams of people.
Well,
Like, we can't constantly force the big companies to not use like stuff that would make their job easier, because it will end up preventing the smaller companies from doing it too.
I like the fact that you chose Sony as this example, because I think Sony has a very good reason right now to want to save as much money as it conceivably can.
Oh fuck! I'm still happy that I have like a physical copy of Concord, just as like, oh yeah, this is now like a relic. They don't exist anymore.
And at least AI would never produce this from the prompt, hey, make me a woman. Do you mean trash can? So, I get it. And the thing is, too, like... we're all gonna have this, where jobs are going to start becoming obsolete, and ironically, the first people to experience it will be the creatives. Musicians, artists, drawers, graphical designers, these will be the first to be replaced, not the last like we thought they did. Because everyone's like, oh, AI can't do creative stuff. Well, fuck. That seems to actually be the easiest thing for AI to do, because what we view as creativity is actually fairly simplistic stuff. Like
I think it's more because of how the back end stuff works. Like, no matter how bad you fuck up a picture, it's still a picture. But if you fuck up like the tiniest line of code in something, the entire thing's gonna break and fall apart.
Yeah, like if the AI draws an extra finger on a piece of artwork, you're like, lol, AI art. If the AI is flying an aircraft at the time and decides that north is south, you have bigger problems.
Or even smaller scale, if you're making a game and the AI accidentally adds an extra semicolon, well, your code's broken now. Yep. You're gonna have to search for why it's broken through like 2,000 lines of AI.
And hey, Yellow Flash, I see you there. Hello, Yellow Flash.
Hello.
Hey, Flash.
Flash is a good guy.
He is.
Boeing AI. Ugh. See, now Boeing AI wouldn't be there to fly the aircraft. He would be there to silence the whistleblowers. Hello, Ed. I see you sent an unauthorized email today.
No, that's when
Also-
they start putting chips in Boeing employees' heads. It's like, yes, we see you did this. Blows up.
Yep. As you try to whistleblow on the company, a blinding migraine explodes in your head. Edward.
Elon Musk starts putting in little bombs into his Neuralinks. It's like, it's okay, guys, just put it in your head, it'll be fine. There's one thing about the AI stuff when it comes to vehicles that I've been thinking about, right? Because I've heard a lot of people say, I wouldn't trust a self-driving car. And, fair enough, you want to be in control of it as a person, right? Like, I get it. But statistically, like, self-driving cars don't have to be perfect. They just have to be better than humans. And it'll become worth it to trust your self-driving car. And, I mean, humans cause something like, what is it, 40,000 crashes a year? If self-driving cars get below that, then it makes sense to trust them, you know what I mean? The AI doesn't have to be perfect. It's just we're uncomfortable with the idea because if a human crashes a car, we can blame the human for negligence or whatever. If an AI crashes a car, there's no one to blame. So the concept of responsibility leaves the conversation, and I think people are uncomfortable with that. But it probably will be the way that we go.
Well, the benefit there is, when a human makes a mistake, the next human will make the same mistake. And the next human after that, and the next human after that, and the next human after that. When the AI makes a mistake, like, it will be, why don't I drive in the other lane? Whee! That is then patched out, and the AI never makes that mistake again. It's the same with aircraft. That's why aircrafts are so goddamn safe, because every time something goes wrong, we find out precisely what, and we fix that problem. Be it, like, one of the problems we first encountered with missile warfare, for example. When you fire a missile from an aircraft, you think, oh, well, that's easy enough. You just shoot the missile, right? Simple dimple. Except the missile has a little rocket engine, which produces a trail of superheated air behind itself as it travels. Now, your engines are sucking in air at normal temperature. Suddenly, the engine is sucking in superheated air. And then your aircraft blows up. Nobody thought about it. Nobody even knew what the fuck happened the first time the engine started flaming out. Like, what the fuck? And then, the engine temperature suddenly spiked because we fired a weapon. So I think self-driving cars are absolutely the future. I do actually think Elon is right on this too, that we will eventually just, unless you live in the middle of the forest like I do, you'll just give up on cars and everyone will share a fleet of cars. Because it'll simply be a lot more economically viable. Instead of buying a car for like $20,000-$30,000, you rent it for $10-$20 to go wherever the fuck you want in return.
You will own nothing, Arch, and you'll be happy.
Yes. And in some parts it will be true. Like, stuff like that, unless you need a car constantly, will probably happen. Chat, you're parroting dev. Shame on every last one of you.
I knew they'd come around eventually.
So on the Lich, Dev was throat coating Dusty Me so hard that it's a matter of time for the dev pack to drop.
I spoke too fucking soon, apparently.